I've never told anyone this in detail before. Maybe because I'm still not sure if I believe what I saw, or if I've just gone insane trying to make sense of it. But every time I close my eyes, I hear the scrape of that little wooden planchette sliding across the board, spelling out words that should never have been spoken. It started like any other night in the house we all shared. 5 of us crammed into a half-rotting rental on the edge of campus. The walls were thin, the carpets smelled like mildew, and the kitchen light buzzed whenever you switched it on. But it was cheap, and we were students, so we told ourselves it was character. There was me, Alex. Then there was David, the quiet one, who lost his mom when he was a kid. Sam, who was always laughing at something. Jess, sharp-tongued and fearless. And Mark, the kind of guy who'd dare you to drink bleach just to see if you'd do it. That Friday night, we had no parties, no exams to cram for, no plans. We were restless, and boredom is dangerous when you live with people like Mark. That's when he brought it up, the Ouija board. He'd bought it earlier that day from a second-hand store downtown, the kind that sells cracked mirrors and dusty porcelain dolls. He tossed it on the living room table like it was nothing. "Come on," he grinned. "Let's call some ghosts. What's the worst that could happen?" We circled the table in that dim, flickering light. The curtains were drawn. The only sound the hum of the fridge in the kitchen. The air felt heavier than usual, though maybe that was just my nerves. Mark read the cheesy little instructions out loud like we needed them. Everyone put a finger on the planchette. No pushing, no tricks. Ask your question, and the spirits will answer. We chuckled, half embarrassed. None of us believed it, not really, except David. He was staring at the board like it meant something. His mom had died in a car crash when he was 8. He never talked about it much. But you could see the wound in him, raw, even after all those years. "My mom," he said softly, almost to himself. "Do you think she'd answer?" The room went still. None of us knew what to say. Finally, Jess shrugged. Only one way to find out. So we placed our fingertips on the planchette, the 5 of us breathing in unison. Mark smirked. Sam rolled his eyes. Jess just looked bored. But David, his eyes were shining with something that looked a lot like hope. "Mom," he whispered, "if you're here, please give me a sign." At first, nothing happened. We sat there in silence, the candlelight throwing shadows across the walls. And then, so slowly I thought I imagined it, the planchette began to move. We all looked at each other, swearing we weren't doing it. It slid across the board, smooth and deliberate. Y-E-S. David's breath caught. "Oh my God," he whispered. "Mom, it's you?" The planchette moved again. Y-E-S. His hands trembled on the wood. I could see tears gathering in his eyes. "Ask her something," Jess muttered. Something only she'd know. David swallowed hard. His voice cracked when he spoke. "What was the song you used to sing to me at night?" The planchette hesitated, then slid letter by letter. T-W-I-N-K-L-E. David's face crumpled. He covered his mouth with his hand, trying not to sob. "That was it," he whispered. "That was it." I wanted to believe. God, I wanted to. But something about the way the board moved felt wrong. Too fluid, too eager. And then, things got darker. Jess leaned in. "If this is really David's mom, prove it. Show us something." The candle flame flickered, then stretched tall and thin, like it was being pulled by invisible fingers. The shadows on the wall twisted. I swear the temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees in seconds. Sam laughed nervously. "Okay, that's enough. This is creepy." But David wasn't finished. His voice was desperate now. "Mom, I miss you so much. I want to see you. Can you come closer?" The planchette slid across the board. Y-E-S. I felt it then, an icy pressure in the air, like something pressing down on us. The shadows on the walls weren't matching our movements anymore. They writhed, twitching, stretching into shapes I didn't recognize. Then David stiffened. His head jerked back, his mouth opening like he was gasping for air. His eyes rolled back, leaving only the whites. We all shouted, pulling our hands away, but the planchette kept moving on its own. M-Y-S-O-N. My stomach dropped. David's lips moved, but the voice that came out wasn't his. It was older, female, soft and soothing. "Don't be afraid, sweetheart. It's me. Mommy's here." The hairs on the back of my neck stood straight up. Jess swore under her breath. Sam backed away. But David, he smiled, tears streaming down his face, but smiling like a little kid. "Mom," he whispered. That's when everything went wrong. The voice changed. It warped, deepened, twisting into something guttural and cruel.
"He's mine now."
David's body convulsed. He screamed, but it didn't sound human. The lights flickered, the candle blew out, and in the dark, I swear I saw a shape behind him. Tall, crooked, with hands that stretched too long. We scrambled for the lights, for anything. Mark shouted to break the circle, to end it, but the board was alive beneath us, the planchette spinning in wild circles. David slammed his head into the table so hard the wood cracked. Blood smeared across the letters. Jess screamed. Sam tried to hold him down, but he was thrashing with impossible strength. And then, suddenly, it stopped. He slumped forward, motionless, breathing heavy. When he looked up, his eyes weren't his anymore. They were black, bottomless, filled with something that wasn't David, and he smiled. Not David's smile, something else's. We didn't sleep that night. We sat in silence, too terrified to move, watching him. He didn't say another word, but the way he stared at us, it was like we weren't people anymore, just prey. At dawn, we finally crashed, too exhausted to keep watch. When I woke, the house was quiet, too quiet. David's door was closed. We knocked, no answer. When we pushed it open, the smell hit us first. Copper and something worse, something rotten. He was hanging from the ceiling, the belt from his jeans twisted tight around his neck. His face was pale, his eyes wide open, staring at nothing. On the wall behind him, scratched deep into the plaster with his own fingernails, were two words: Mommy's home. The cops said it was suicide, another depressed kid who couldn't handle the weight, but we know better. I can still hear that voice sometimes, when the house is quiet and the lights are low. Whispering, coaxing, promising. I never touched a Ouija board again, and if you're ever stupid enough to try, don't believe the voice that answers, because it isn't who you think it is. It never is.